for CASA, and if Senator Xenophon's not here, I might get you to go home.
There it is.
Take that. Bad luck, he's back. You're into it, go on. About to send them home.
Mr. Skidmore, thank
Be
you.
quick.
If you didn't interrupt me, Chair, I'd be quicker. Mr. Skidmore, you may be aware, in terms of understand that there is a rally of general aviation taking place in Tamworth tomorrow. You're probably aware of that.
Mark Skidmore, Chief Executive Officer and Director of Aviation Safety for Civil Aviation Safety Authority, and yes, Senator, I am.
Okay, and as I understand it, there are a number of unhappy parties involved in general aviation who are concerned about a number of issues, including the ADSB. Have you had an opportunity, or has CAS had an opportunity to engage with various groups that will be at this rally in Tamworth tomorrow?
Senator, I'm not exactly sure who will be at the rally tomorrow.
Right.
And so it's difficult to actually say we've engaged with anyone, but we've engaged with a number of people regarding ADSB.
Right. Is there any plan to delay the implementation of ADSB given some of the concerns that have been raised in the general aviation community, and you're aware of the submission of Dick Smith of the 14th of August last year and the evidence that he gave to a Senate inquiry in respect to this?
Senator, currently CASA has no plans to extend or change the mandate that we have for ADSB.
Right. But you are aware of the concerns of the financial impact it could have on general aviation?
I'm aware that concerns have been raised, yes, Senator.
And have those concerns been in any way tested or attempts to ascertain, in CASA's eyes, the validity or otherwise of those concerns about the impact of ADSB on general aviation?
Senator, the mandate was set some time ago, and there was a regulatory impact statement was made at the time then. We haven't gone back and revised or updated that because the mandate was established some time, I think it was in the 2012 sort of time frame.
Right.
So we have not. However, I will say that we have been engaging with avionics companies, getting an understanding of systems that are out there and looking at how costs could be reduced.
Okay. But you're aware that we're due to start, I think, well before New Zealand, for instance, in terms of ADSB. Is that your understanding?
I'd have to check the timing in regards to New Zealand. Ours is 2017. I am aware the United States is 2020.
Right. So we're starting 3 years before the US. I think New Zealand is due to start, stand corrected, a year after the US.
I believe it might be 2021 from memory.
Yes.
But the mandate we set was, that has been set, was established some time ago, and the consultation that occurred with industry occurred back then in regards to setting and establishing the timeframes. I'd have to find some of the details regarding it.
So because of time constraints, Mr Skidmore, what has been put to me by a number of people in the general aviation community is that many general aviation operators will hit the wall because of ADSB, that it will be a significant financial impost, that the costs would in all likelihood come down significantly once the US adopts it by 2020, that why are we doing this several years earlier than the US, which is going to be the market leader, if you like, in rolling this out?
Senator, I don't think anyone disagrees that ADSB is a good system, and we're putting it in place. And there's already 73 or 75 stations that the Air Services has established. So the system is up and running. It's already being used. There's a number of people who have already implemented ADSB, would be turning around and denying them the benefits of ADSB if we
what
suddenly...
What proportion of general aviation would have implemented ADSB, do you think? Can you take that on notice?
Can I just correct? It's in the number... The mandate is for IFR aircraft.
Right.
So that encompasses a number of operators and a number of systems. It's not just general aviation. In regards to the exact numbers of those who have implemented the ADSB in the general aviation space, I don't have those numbers with me at the moment.
If you could take those on notice.
And take that on notice.
So is CASA still open to talking to representatives of the general aviation community about their serious concerns in respect of ADSB?
Anyone can talk to us in regards to asking for an exemption if they can put forward a good safety case, Senator, and we're happy to look at it.
The question was about the implementation date, which many in general aviation fear will be disastrous for general aviation in this country.
CASA has currently said, well, there is an established mandate in regards to the timeframe for ADSB, and we have no plans of changing that at this stage, Senator.
Notwithstanding Australia's a unique regime, the sort of evidence that Mr Smith gave when he gave evidence.
There's also other arguments that would say that if we waited until America was actually implementing, then there wouldn't be the systems around. The price would actually go up, Senator.
What if there's more? If there's more of it,
because all the systems would be being used and being implemented into systems in America.
Right. So there's been an analysis of that.
I'm just saying there are other arguments that support that.
But has that argument been tested? Is it subject to any analysis to verify that argument? I mean, both ways, I guess.
Well, exactly, both ways. I haven't got the argument in regards to the other issues associated with ADSB either.
Right. Have you been invited to attend the Tamworth meeting tomorrow?
No, I have not, Senator.
Okay. I didn't know. I honestly didn't know whether you were invited or not. I think you want me to be done now, so given this is your last estimates ever, I'll capitulate to you.
He's thinking about renominating in 3
Senator
years.
Forsyth, you got a couple of quick ones?
I'm happy to put these on notice, given your constraints on time, Chair. Mr Skidmore, welcome. Could you take on notice to provide the committee with an update on the process for sector risk profiles?
Sorry, Senator, I missed that with the door slam.
I hope that's not
Somebody
to do with the coming election. Sector risk profiles, the industry has been very positive about those. I'd like an update on where CASA's view is at that process, who you've got working on it, and what resources you're investing in it, because it appears to be a good way in terms of collaborating with industry.
Yes, Senator, I'll take that on notice, and thank you very much for those comments.
The ASRR, some of the updates you provided online, particularly your speech, I think, in Canada, about some of the progress and things moving forward. Can you give us an update against each of the 37 recommendations of the Forsyth report, just as to where you're at and your time frame for implementation?
We can certainly give you an update in regards to the government response to the Aviation Safety Regulation Review report and what our implementation is on those.
I know what the government response was. I'm interested in where you're at and where your time frame for implementation is going, particularly around the issues that you're obviously aware of, 48 Part 1, Part 61, 141, the things that are concerning industry. But I'm also interested, for example, in how well the Industry Complaints Commissioner is functioning in the way that Forsyth envisaged to get quick turnaround time. So I'd sort of appreciate some actual facts and figures around number of complaints, time to resolution, what the outcomes were, how many have had to go back to the board member to indicate that CASA has taken a view that perhaps the independent expert, the board member, didn't think were going to be appropriate.
Oh, we can certainly do that. So the terms of reference for the ICC were amended to be directly to reporting to the board. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the aspects of the Aviation Safety Regulation Review that we've implemented.
Sure.
We can give you more figures in regards to the ICC process and the complaints.
Okay, we have spoken on many occasions now about colour vision deficient pilots. We spoke about the safety case that exists for implementing a individualised capacity or functional test for somebody who's failed the bench level testing. I'm just wondering what your current position is on that.
I've reviewed the paper and I've had the paper reviewed in regards to proposing an operational testing that would be conducted each year. I'm concerned that we'd be imposing another cost on applicants in regards to that, so that worries me to start with. But I'm also concerned that operational testing incorporates many variables that we have no control over. So we're working internationally with other regulators. We're proposing papers to actually get some sort of common standard across all of us in regards to assessing CVD.
Mm-hmm. The feedback I've had from pilots who are affected by this is that they would prefer to wear that cost as opposed to have the door closed in their face, which is what many of them are facing at the moment. And in terms of the evidence, again, as we've talked before, I see very little difference to assessing somebody's capability to pass an IRT on a given day, and we assume they are then going to be safe for the following year. But I'll follow up with interest. Chair, thank you very much.
Thank you. Air Services next.